In the world of JavaScript, there's a villain every developer has battled. It's not a framework or a library. It's the endless, soul-crushing wait for your code to build. Every time you hit save, the waiting begins. Seconds feel like minutes. Your focus shatters and that creative flow just drains away. This is the story of a tool that fought back. A side project that got so fast and so popular, it had to destroy its own foundation to conquer the ecosystem. This is the story of how Vite killed slow tooling. To get why Vite was a revolution, you have to understand the world before it. For years, web development was defined by a shared frustration, the build process. The heavyweight champion of this era was Webpack. It was a powerful, flexible, and for many, painfully slow. The problem was its basic approach. Traditional bundlers like Webpack treated your app like a giant manuscript. Every time you fix one typo, you had to wait for the entire book to be retranslated, recompiled, and reprinted before you could see the change. That was development for many on large-scale projects. As our apps got bigger, with thousands of modules, this became excruciating. Starting up your dev server on a complex project could mean it was time to go grab a coffee. A small CSS change could leave you watching the terminal spin long enough to question your life choices. This wasn't just an annoyance, it was a tax on productivity. We, the developers, were spending a huge chunk of our day waiting for our own machines. The slow Webpack build wasn't a joke, it was a shared trauma, a bottleneck that stole time and killed momentum. This frustration is exactly what led even you, the creator of Vue, to build a better way. He wasn't entirely alone. Tools like Snowpack were exploring similar ideas. But Vite's approach was the one that truly broke into the mainstream. Vite's genius wasn't in creating a better bundler. It was in realizing that for development, you didn't need to bundle everything upfront. Instead of the reprint the whole book model, Vite took a stream-on-demand approach. It did this by leaning on a modern browser feature, native ES modules or ESM. Essentially, Vite lets the browser do more of the work. It serves your source files individually, and the browser itself requests the module it needs, as it needs them. When a browser sees an import, it just makes a tiny request for that specific file. While Vite is still transforming things like TypeScript or JSX on the fly, the effect is game-changing. No massive, pre-packaged bundle required for development. This means Vite's startup time is practically instant. Whether your project has 10 files or 10,000, the server is ready in milliseconds because it's not doing any work until you ask it. The second piece of the puzzle was dependencies. Vite pre-bundles these just once using esbuild, a tool written in Go that is orders of magnitude faster than JavaScript-based bundlers. The combination was revolutionary. Hot module replacement (HMR), the feature that updates your app as you code, became instantaneous. Where Webpack had to rebuild large parts of the bundle, Vite just swaps away that one tiny module that changed. Startup times that could reach past 30 seconds could now be over in a flash. It wasn't an improvement, it was a paradigm shift that gave developers back their most valuable resource time. Initially, Vite was a side project for Vue, but the problem it solved was universal. Speed is a feature every developer wants, regardless of their favorite framework. The real turning point came with Vite 2.0, when it became truly framework agnostic. Suddenly, developers using React, Svelte, Preact, and more could tap into this incredible speed. Adoption was explosive. Framework after framework began recommending Vite. SvelteKit, Astro, and Nuxt all standardized on it. Then came a major signal from the community. In early 2025, the React team officially deprecated its classic starter kit, Create React App. While they primarily pointed developers towards full-stack frameworks like Next.js and Remix, they also listed build tools like Vite as an excellent option for those who needed a more direct setup, cementing its place as a top-tier tool in the React ecosystem. The numbers tell the story. Throughout 2025, Vite's weekly NPM downloads were on a meteoric rise, eventually and consistently surpassing Webpack's. It wasn't just an alternative anymore. It was rapidly becoming the new default for a generation of developers. But the story doesn't end there. For all its innovation in development, Vite still carried a piece of the old world. For production builds, Vite relied on a traditional bundler rollup. This created a subtle but persistent issue, a dual bundler architecture. Your code ran one way in development and was built a different way for production, which could lead to tricky bugs. Vite had conquered the developer experience, but to truly own the future, it had to unify the toolchain. This led to the most ambitious chapter in Vite's history. Enter Rolldown. Rolldown is a complete, from the ground up rewrite of a bundler built in Rust. The move is part of a massive trend in JavaScript where performance critical tools are being written in low level languages for native level speed. The goal of integrating Rolldown is to replace both esbuild for dev transforms and rollup for production with a single unified engine. One pipeline, one set of rules, no more inconsistencies. With the release of Vite 8 in March 2026, this vision became a reality, making a major architectural shift. The performance gains are staggering. Early reports during the beta phase from companies testing Rolldown were dramatic, with some seeing production build times drop significantly. For instance, the team behind Linear reported their build time failing from 46 seconds to just 6 seconds. This is the ultimate act of dominance. Vite became a hero by killing the slow tooling of the past. Now to lead the future, it's replacing the very dependencies that helped it succeed with something faster and more powerful. Developed by a dedicated team in the open source community, Vite is eating its own foundation to forge a stronger one. Vite won by making Webpack irrelevant before Webpack even understood the threat. Now it's doing the same thing to its own foundation, replacing Rollup and esbuild with Rolldown before anyone else gets the chance. That's not irony, that's survival. The real question isn't whether Vite stays dominant, it's whether any tool that wins big enough can afford to not cannibalize itself. Because in JavaScript, the only thing more dangerous than being slow is staying still. Have you tried Vite's latest version that uses Rolldown? Let us know in the comments below about your experience. If you like this video, like, share, subscribe, and we'll see you soon in the next one. Till then, peace out.